Day, everyone. I am your teacher in reading and writing skills for this semester. I am Miss Jane Salias. And welcome to our first video lesson. So for our first video lesson, our topic is all about patterns of paragraph development. So the first set of the patterns of paragraph development we're going to talk about are narration, description, definition, classification, and exemplification. Okay. Our most essential learning competency in this topic is compare and contrast patterns of written text across disciplines. Our specific learning objectives are be familiarized with the different writing patterns in paragraph development. We have narration, description, definition, classification, and exemplification for week 1. Second, identify the transitional words and phrases used in the different writing patterns. Number 3, write a short paragraph using certain writing pattern. And lastly, distinguish the uses and the differences of each writing pattern. The first pattern that we have is what we call narration. So what is narration pattern? It is a narrative text contains the plot which gives direction in making a story. Question is, what is a plot? When we say plot, it pertains to the series of events in a story. Because when you write a narrative text, you are telling a story. It might be an experience of other people or your own experience. Okay? So in other words, it's just telling a story, your story. Remember that it has to be in a chronological order. Since it follows a plot, we have here the illustration of a plot. We have beginning, middle, and end. What else do we have to know about narration? In developing a narration, sequential presentation of events plays an important role. When we say sequential presentation, it means order of events in the story, or the order of events that you are telling or narrating in your paragraph. There are signal words help to create unified thought and to show the transition of events to the next. This leads us to focus on the use of the action words in story. It also helps to move the story and makes the story interesting. The chronological ordering of events helps to show the reader how the story moves. In other words, again, when you follow a narrative pattern or you write a narration paragraph, remember the sense of time is important. The events should be arranged in chronological order, meaning from first event to the last event. How would you be able to do that? You make use of transitional devices or signal words. What are the signal words that you can use? Most of the common transitional words are next, then, first, suddenly, after. Excuse me. This, don't worry, I'm not a positive. Okay. It's just that suddenly a foreign object entered my nose. Okay, again, here are the common transitional words. First, next, then, suddenly, and after. Now, let's go to the second pattern. Second pattern is called description. According to Diagbil et al. 2016, the use of description plays an important role to elucidate the nature of people, places, and things. So, our second pattern uh, highlights elucidation. So when we say elucidation, elucidation means explanation or making something clear to the mind of the readers or audience. Okay, again, it says elucidate the nature of people, places, and things. So how do we make things clear to the mind of our audience? What words should we use? series of detailed observation about the subject can help you create a good descriptive paragraph. Meaning, you will have to observe the subject or the topic for you to be able to describe that topic well. How would you be able to observe something? So, through the use of your sense organs. That's why we have here. What are our five senses? We have the sense of tastes, feelings, sights, sounds, textures, and smell. Sense of sight. This involves the use of adjectives and adverbs in the paragraph. The kind of words we use to describe how your subject looks, sounds, feels, smells, or even tastes are called sensory languages. Sample of sensory languages may be lovely, sense of sight. Sense of smell may be foul or fragrant. Okay. Sense of touch may be it's cold, rough, smooth. Okay. Sense of hearing may be it's loud, it's soft. Those are just very simple examples. There are two types of description. One that is objective and the other one is subjective. When we say objective, it is based on your observation, which provide facts and details with a little interpretation as possible. Meaning, what you see is what you say. There is no interpretation involved. For instance, there was a crowd of about 50 people in front of the museum, and that is very objective. How did you describe? There are 50 people in a crowd. For us, for subjective, descriptions of your observations are influenced by your opinions, past personal experiences, and background. Example, there was an impatient crowd of about 50 people waiting endlessly to enter the museum. What makes this subjective? The word, the word impatient. Because when you say impatient, how did you know that those people are impatient? What makes you think that those people are impatient? It is based on your interpretation. Probably you saw that they are already frowning and they are making gestures which signal being impatient. So it depends on your um, interpretation. But when you say objective, just say how many people are there in the crowd. You don't have to interpret the situation. That is objective versus subjective description. Now, go to the third pattern. The third pattern is called definition. Definition provides concise but exact meanings of unfamiliar words and explains special meanings for familiar words. In other words, when you are trying to use this pattern, it is used to give specific meaning to terms or special words. Okay? They are often used to explain technical words and concepts. So, just like, for instance, in biology, mitochondria. In the science, it's atom. In language field, arbitrary. So, if there are technical words or jargons that it's hard, that is that are hard rather for people to understand, you can use definition pattern to give meaning and or to clarify the meaning of those words and make layman understand the meaning of the word. What to define always depends on the needs of the reader and the purpose of communication. So there are different types of definition. We have informal definition. When you say informal, it is denotation or connotation name. Denotation is a dictionary meaning of the word. Rose is a family of prickly shrub with pinnate leaves and showy flowers. So that's denotation based on um based on dictionary. But when we say commodic connotation, it is a secondary meaning of a word that is rarely included in the dictionary. So it means the extended meaning, okay, of the word. Such example, a dozen of pink roses is usually given to their beloved ones. Because what's the meaning of a dozen pink roses? It may mean love, or the person that you will be giving the flowers to is someone important or dear to you, because the extended meaning of the flower is love, of the rose is love. Okay, now we also have formal definition. When we say formal definition, it consists of three principal parts. We have the word, the genus, or the class, plus differentiate. Let's have this. Word means name of the object, process, or concept defined. Class means general group to which the objects belong. Differentiate is differentiating quality that distinguishes those things from all other things in the class. Well, therefore, the pattern is the term, the genus, and the differentiate or TGT. To what specific class the term belongs to? And how does that term differ from the other terms in the same class? Sample. Skimming is a reading technique of allowing the eyes to travel over a page very quickly, stopping only here and there to gain an idea. What's the word being defined? It's skimming. To what class skimming belong to? It is actually a reading technique. What is a What makes skimming different from other reading techniques? It is different because it is it only the eyes travel over a pizza very quickly, stopping only here and there to gain an idea. So when we say skimming, you only look for the main idea of what you are reading. You don't look into details. You just look for main idea. That is skimming. Again, for formal definition, we have the formula word, class, differentiate, or genus. For the expanded or extended definition, the following are common methods used in paragraph development. That's why again we have three types of definition. We have informal, connotation, denotation. We have formal definition following the pattern, word, genus, and differentiate. Last is the expanded or extended definition. Here are some examples or ways to do expanded definition. We have by stating characteristics, by function, by what it is not, by what it is similar to, by examples, by origin of word or etymology, by its effect. Now let's go to the last pattern. We have exemplification and classification. Okay, so for exemplification and classification, we have topic sentence. We have classifications, which means types or categories. Examples means illustrations and transitional expressions. So these are the parts of a classification and exemplification pattern. Again, there is a topic sentence there, ha? Unlike definition, there is just a word. So let's go to exemplification first. The most common and effective pattern to explain an idea or point is through exemplification. Why? Because from the word example, you only give example or illustration, then people will try to analyze the example and give meaning to it. In developing this kind of paragraph, the writer develops a general statement, topic sentence with one or more examples to support. Transitional expressions in writing, effective exemplification paragraph for instance, namely to be specific, to clarify, to illustrate, for example, in short, as an example. On the other hand, classification is used when a writer needs to sort out or arrange subjects to groups or categories based on their common and shared characteristics. Again, music classification, our aim is to sort into groups based on shared characteristics. Transitional words are classified as one kind, the last group, another kind, another, final type, the first category are categorized as the next part. Alright, I think that's it. Again, what are our four patterns of paragraph development? For week number 1, we have narration, description, definition, classification, and exemplification. So I have here a short activity. So you try to think what is the pattern being described in each statement. It tells a story. What is that? The answer is, of course, narration. Provides information on what a person, an object, a basic situation is like. So you are trying to make things clear. Description. It explains a concept, a term, or a subject. It's definition. Discusses concepts into groups of shared characteristics. It also provides ideas by giving example. Our clue words are group and examples, classification and exemplification. It uses transitional devices such as first, next, then, after, or suddenly to show events. It is narration. Because again, those words pertain to time, and time is crucial when you are writing a narrative pattern. Gives a personal impression of the writer or can be an impression without bias. So it is description, which can be objective or subjective. It clarifies the meaning of a word and idea in simple and understandable language. Okay? It is definition. It explains the main idea by providing illustrations. Again, magic word, illustration, so meaning exemplification. It defines something by placing them in a group according to some basis or rule. Again, the word grouping. Therefore, the answer is classification. Okay, so guys, for our activities or assimilation activities for week number 1, you just have to write a short paragraph of each pattern of development. Again, narration, description, definition, exemplification, and classification based on the topic that was written on our learner's packet. Again, so you have to go to the learner's packet, read which topic you need to write into. But take note, you have to uh, make use of the pattern that we talked about today. Alright? I hope everything is clear with you guys. And if you have questions, do not hesitate to post on our respective group chats. Once again, this is your teacher Jayan, and I'll see you again on our next video lesson.